Okay, everybody out there in video land, we're here to do another video of our EconoScreen topsoil screener. It's been quite a few years since I did an updated video, and I get requests all the time for the videos. So over the years, we've never ever changed the actual design of the machine. We've just changed the inner workings of it, and it's been very, very small changes, nothing real critical, crazy. The thing I've noticed here in my area, I've got a couple guys that are trying to copy my machine, right down to, if you saw one, it even looks like my machine. So I guess it must be a pretty good design if I got people trying to copy it now. But the thing I've been told with theirs, and I've never physically went and looked at the other ones, so I'm just going by what people tell me, but on my chassis are all 1/4 inch, all welded steel frames. I've been told that that's not what they're building on theirs. So look at all of them on the internet. When you come across the other two that look like mine, feel free to come back to me. And I sell my machines cheaper than they do. And that was the way I started out, and that's the way I'll stay at my pricing. So what we're here is to explain the machine to you. And in case you haven't seen the other video, you're new at seeing the video. We're going to start with the Grizzly. On my Grizzly, we run 2-inch spacing on the Grizzly bars. We run angle iron for our Grizzly bars with the point of the angle iron up. There's a couple reasons we do that. When you're screening your dirt, if it's a little bit wetter, which here in a few minutes we're going to pan over, I'm going to show you the pile I have, and it's wet. When you dump it on, it will screed it out and aerate the dirt a little bit. And then the other reason is that, again, I'll be loading with my international tractor, that in the first video I mentioned that the hydraulics suck on my tractor. Well, I have a new tractor now and the hydraulics still suck, by the way. But anyways, I normally load with a Gradall 660 with a ditch bucket. Gradall 660 is what the towns use to do the ditches. My ditch bucket is a rather large bucket, and that's what I load my machine with. So when I run into a situation where I have roots or sod up here on my Grizzly bars, I'll lift 10, 15 feet above my machine, dump my dirt, dump my rock, and that'll actually pound it down through, because with the Grizzly bars up, they act like a little bit of a knife. Once they hit the screener, when they go off the machine, all you get is the root ball, and all the dirt's been knocked out of them. So now we're going to move down to the bottom here, and what we have here is you have 10 feet of screening area this way, and it's 4 feet deep. I've had every question you can imagine on the phone over selling these for years, and I get people that ask me, why isn't the machine deeper? Well, the reason the machine's not deeper, because again, with my case tractor, if this machine was any deeper, I could never get to the inside of the machine to get all the dirt out. My lift arms will smash into the machine before that happens. So the 4 foot is plenty deep. Now when I use a standard machine like this, you don't scoop your dirt out every time you dump dirt in the machine. What you do is I screen right till it's hitting the carriage. And what happens is the dirt pyramids out of the machine. You will end up with dirt out this far away from the machine. So again, with these screeners, I've always said, what's the front of the back of a screener? I don't know. So what we do is we call this the high side and the low side. So what you do is you drive up with your tractor, you dump your dirt on the high side, the dirt goes through, and when you get your dirt pyramiding out, you've only got to back up a foot or so, you drop your bucket, you drive in a foot or so, roll your bucket, and you'll come out with a full load of dirt. When you get done with screening for the day or whatever you're doing, I just scoop out what I can. I don't go crazy. I drive back around with my tractor, I pick the tongue of the machine up, and I roll it right back out of the way, and I do my final cleanup. So, and again, one of the things we thought of is, years ago we were building them 8 foot long, but we said, because they're all built in a jig now, we're going to go 10 feet long. So pretty much anything a guy owns, from a skid steer tractor to a payloader, he can use this machine, because it's pretty rare you find over a 10 foot wide bucket. So, and what we did on this machine here, we've also gone to calling them a big screen, small screen machines. I get guys that will order a big screen machine, and what that means is it has a 1-inch screen in it. Because I have customers that are only looking to make a more gravelly mix. Then I get customers that want to go right down to topsoil, and I even have a 3rd screen that you can make a sandy loam, so that anything you're burying underground nowadays, you can encase it in your sandy loam. So what you do is, and on this big machine, the big screen machine, is when you screen with it, you're going to get a more of a gravelly mix. And this one is a big screen machine. But what we do to make it the big screen, small screen machine is, you don't take the existing screen out. All you have to do is slide the other screen on top of the machine, and 2-3 bolts with nuts, washers, squish it in between the screen, and you can go make your topsoil. You put the other screen in, you can make your sandy loam. So you never have to pull the big screen out of the machine. That acts as your backer for your others. So we're going to run this today. And again, this is the big screen machine. Now in my machine over there, which if you look over there, that is the first original stacker machine I ever designed. And that machine's 10 years old. And that machine still chugs away. It makes me dirt. And that one there, I do have a finer screen in it, because for me normally, I'm looking for more of a topsoil. One of the other things we did is we just did a drainage ditch, and I actually had my machine sitting next to the ditch. I put my drainage pipe down in, and when I screened with my machine, I let the gravel on the low side of the machine drop in my ditch. I plasticed over it. I took my topsoil and I topped it, and my ditch is all done in one shot. I didn't have to haul dirt, transport dirt, whatever. And this machine, you can do the same thing. Bring it right to where you're working. And you make your gravel, you make your topsoil, depending on what screen you have in it. So then we're going to come up to this side of the machine, and this is our motor. This is a little 6.5 horsepower motor. And again, with our stacker machines we build, if you buy that, you get a 16 horsepower motor on it that's electric start. So when you start that machine, everything starts at once. But I just want you to know that machine over there, believe it or not, runs the 6.5 horsepower motor. It runs the shaker and the conveyor, and it starts all with a pull with a recoil. So we've just jumped them up with the 16 horse on the stacker machines. It gives you electric start, just makes it a little easier for you. And it was just something we did because we even have made improvements to the stacker machines. So, and on this here, throttle's preset, will not move. We even have it marked, so if you decide you think you've got to move it, you just voided your warranty. So all of our bearings on the machine are greasable. There's 2 bearings here, there's one under the guard. The other thing I did is I hate it when I work on equipment that companies put all oddball parts on it, and that was one thing I said I'm not going to do. So if you get 5 years down the road and you blow the 1-inch bearing under this cover because your help said they greased it and they never greased it, and it finally blows, you can hunt me down for one if you want, and I get guys that do, because that seems to be the only bearing that blows, and every single one of them is because it wasn't greased. So if it's good weather and you want to keep screening, you can run down to any parts store, buy a 1-inch bearing, put it on, and you're back to work. Now, again, on my stacker machine over there, and again, I am a guy that uses what he sells, those bearings have never been greased on that machine, and we're purposely doing it, just waiting to see what falls off it. So when somebody calls me on the phone and they got a problem, I pretty much know that they've done something to the machine that they shouldn't have done. We have improved our drive system on this. We made a couple changes. So what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to have her pan over here for a minute, and this is the dirt that I'm going to screen right here. This is not something that normally somebody would take and make topsoil out of, but basically I was just looking for the drainage stone out of it for my drainage project that I had going on, which is actually right behind us. So, and if you can look at that pile, I don't know how well it'll show up, but the darker spots is because the dirt is wet. We get a very short window of dry weather around here for everything to dry out. So I also like to take notice that this is not a setup. The dirt that's in my bucket is the dirt from that pile. I don't have dirt that's been pre-screened with rocks that look like they've been run through a crusher in mine. This is standing out in the backyard at the pile, running real dirt through my machine. So right now I'm going to start the machine. I want you to hear how quiet and smooth my machine runs, and that's one of the big improvements we made to the machine, is how smooth and quiet it runs. And then I'm going to take my tractor with the terrible hydraulics, and I'm going to dump some dirt on it, and then I'm going to shut it back off again and explain to you and end my video, and hope you call me to order a machine. Film here, you can probably still hear me. You flip the choke, you pull the recoil, you're ready to go. machine. I really don't want run a lot of dirt through it because I normally don't run any dirt through them. But I just want you to realize that before I back the tractor up and jump out of the cab, the carriage is empty. But again, this is what we call a big screen machine. So this is a little bit coarser of a screen in it. If you have topsoil, I know that looking at this dirt here, it would screen relatively fast. The drier it is, the faster you can go. The wetter it is, you got to slow down a little bit. But what I will tell you about this machine is, again, I don't normally load with my tractor. My tractor is just too slow to load with. I usually load with my Gradall. It's a lot faster for me to use that. A lot of guys with skid steers. I've seen some amazing people run skid steers. But in any case, you got to think of this one here is if you go to your dirty pile, you scoop your dirty dirt, you come over to this machine, you dump it on, whether you're waiting for product build up or you've got product build up in the machine and you scoop out of this machine and you go to your truck, trailer, pile, whatever you're doing, you spin back around, you go back to your dirty machine. When you come back, this machine is waiting for you. You don't have to wait for it to catch up. I have come out in the spring when it's super wet and I want to fix everything I screwed up with my snowplow in the winter. And there are times it's wet and I got to slow down a little bit. But even with the dirt we have here today, this machine, I could not load it fast enough with that tractor. And honestly, I can't even load it that fast with my Gradall, how fast it will run through this machine. So I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope if you have any questions, you call me. You know, we do offer, and in all my ads it says that we'll build a machine to your needs. We've built many of these machines with modifications to them. I've got a guy that screens like a clay sandy loam for a special project that he does. We put a super fine screen in it. When his dirt comes down, it's almost like baby powder. I've got guys that I got one guy screening corn with his because he makes, I don't remember if it was fertilizer or I don't know, some food or organic food or something. I got a guy that screens coal with his. He buys trick trail loads of coal. He breaks it down in this machine to the different size coals. I've even got one older gentleman that bought one of my machines going by my house one day. He saw it. He actually takes his skid steer. He grows his potatoes in tires. He dumps the tires in this side of the machine, and it shakes the dirt out of his potatoes, and he picks up his potatoes. So, and then just recently we had a customer come to us where we had to make a modification to the machine that he's screening sand for cow stalls. Because I did not know this, but a cow will not sleep in the sand if it has a rock in it. And now they're going in free stalls to sand because sand does not grow bacteria. So if you have a special need for a machine, you give me a call. You know, we offer a couple different things. We'll paint them any standard color at no extra charge. We put a ball hitch on them. We will put a pintle hook on them. We use the Honda copies. We do get requests for the real Hondas. Tell you right now, I'm not seeing any advantage to the real Hondas. So watch my video, give me a call, watch my video a few times, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.